Hey guys, this is Matt from Evolve Fitness. I'm just doing this quick video now on the subject of consistency. This is something that gets thrown out all the time. Everyone says consistency is key and everyone kind of knows it but doesn't really think about it too much. For me, it's like if you tell someone don't touch this, they're curious, but you say don't touch this because it's hot. The curiosity is gone and you know why, and now you're going to follow it through. So when people say consistency is key, why is it key? Now this is an analogy I've used for a long time, and if you followed any of my social media, you've probably heard me say this a million times before, and that is training is damage for your body. It's the damage and repair that gets you the adaptation that you want, okay? So bear with me. Say you're rubbing your hand on a rough surface. You rub it on that rough surface for say 2 minutes every other day for 6 months. You get a solid bit of skin there. Now if you do it now till you can barely touch it till next week and you keep doing that, at the end of the year you'll only have a sore hand. Okay, so it's the damage and repair over a consistent basis that then makes that solid bit of skin get up there. And then once you've got a solid bit of skin there, you can go that little bit longer or that little bit harder and start picking it up, because if you keep it the same, it will stay the same, right? So you have to progressively overload the damage that happens on here to make it thicker. That is a good example of your body adapting to an external force on rubbing your hand on a wall. That's how efficient we are adapting to hard times in a way. Now, we're basically using this body's ability to react to stress response, and that's what training is. We put a stress on it, and then we have a response from that stress that causes muscle growth or lipolysis or fitness, whatever your goals are. So let's take the most obvious one that everyone knows, muscle building, muscle growth, hypertrophy. What you're doing is you're damaging the muscle. The muscle's damaged, it was stress, it was damage on your body. The stress response to that damage is to build, is to have protein synthesis, to synthesize the protein into the muscle, make that a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. And then that healed over time, you damage it again. It heals, damage it again. And each time it re-heals, it gets bigger and stronger. And over consistent time, it builds. Now this is what I want to attack here now that you know that information, is that it's in everyone's mind that I want to get fit, I want to get strong, I want to get big, I want to get fast, I want to get fit, whatever it is. People have got in their mind, they've been watching too many YouTube videos where it's motivation, someone's deadlifting the most they can, or they're sprinting to motivational music. Those videos are people that are built up to a peak, or it's a motivational video, or it's a competition where people have absolutely trained for that one moment. Now, if you take those people in that video, they've had to start somewhere. The problem with going at that intensity all the time is that you will damage your body. If you consistently put too much, it's called progressive overload for a reason, right? You're meant to get the minimum amount of damage for the maximum amount of return, and then progressively overload that damage. It's just, if you go too hard too soon, it's like rubbing your hand on that wall so much, and now it takes so long to recover that you're not progressively overloading anything. Where do you go from here? You can't. But if you just did that little bit, and then you pick up more and more over time, that's how you build it. Use that analogy for the rest of your body. So the other problem that happens if you go so hard too soon is that you get the negative association with training. No one wants to put that much energy and that much effort in when we're working all the time. Not everyone's an Olympic athlete. I totally understand this, and that's why it's got to work in with your life. And if you have a negative association, oh God, if I go to the gym, I've got to kill myself and I'm going to be sore for days, who's going to want to do that? And that's not the right way to do it anyway. Those people that you see that come in, you go, oh, they're a machine. They have progressively built that up over time. Their level that you think's a machine is the level they're at now after years of consistency. So don't try and compete with that person. Progressively overload to get to that point. Okay, so what we do as well is we progressively overload to a point where if we did any more training, we could not physically repair ourselves in time for the next training session. And you know what you do then? Deload. Because of something called resensitization. Now what resensitization is, as another analogy, if you're someone that has never drank coffee before, and you have your first cup of coffee, your head's buzzing, right? And then what happens? That person becomes a 1 coffee a day, 2 coffee a day. Before you know it, there's someone that can have 5 coffees and go to sleep. But if you take that same person and take them off coffee completely, what happens when they come back to coffee? They get that buzz again. This is another thing that happens in your body, is your body becomes desensitized to everything across the board, right? Even our mind, you watch horror movies long enough, they don't get scary. So what you do is is you build up to a point where you could not get any more progressive overload, any more adaptation, and you take a week off is the best way of doing it. Now, studies show now you can take a maximum of 3 weeks off and retain muscle mass as long as you keep a good diet and keep relatively active. So the good thing about this is if you take that week off, is that A, your body gets to rest and repair, B, you're not losing anything anyway, so it's guilt-free, and C, your psychology is that when you've taken that time off, what happens? You actually want to get back into the gym. If you constantly go through the grind, what happens? You get demotivated, you don't feel like you're going anywhere. If you're not progressively overloading, if you're not resensitizing, you get that plateau, and before you know it, you don't want to train anymore. So train smarter, not harder, and just really think about how you're doing it. Don't just go through the motions, do it intelligently. Have a great day, guys.